Today, we share the story of Richard, a successful cryptocurrency trader who lives a luxurious lifestyle. Let's stick with him and see what he's up to. Richard was confident that he had arrived at the correct conclusion as soon as he disembarked from the private plane. He had always had an appreciation for life's finer pleasures, but now that he was a successful cryptocurrency trader, he was able to indulge in a degree of luxury that he had never imagined was conceivable. He had received an invitation to attend an opulent party on the French Riviera that was being hosted by one of the most prominent figures in the world of Bitcoin. The attendees were all prosperous traders, investors, and business people in the field of technology, and the vibe of the gathering was one of possibilities and enthusiasm. Richard couldn't help but feel a sense of pride as he made his way through the crowd. He had put in a lot of effort to get to this point, and he was now enjoying the fruits of his labor. He stopped moving in order to have a conversation with another merchant, a young lady who had already established a name for herself in the industry. Richard was unable to help but be charmed by her self-assurance and grace as she walked into the room wearing a gown designed by a renowned fashion house and glittering with jewels. They discussed the most recent developments of the Bitcoin market, and Richard offered some of his observations and forecasts during the conversation. The woman paid close attention, maintaining eye contact with the speaker while periodically weighing in with her own point of view. The celebration continued to get more and more spectacular as the night dragged on. Champagne and caviar were served in unlimited quantities, and a world-famous DJ was responsible for the event's musical entertainment. Richard found himself dancing with a group of strangers who were all successful in the world of cryptocurrencies. The only thing that brought them together was their love of dancing. They celebrated their good fortune and took delight in the luxuries that their affluence afforded them by laughing and joking. Richard didn't make it back to his hotel room until the wee hours of the morning, well after the front desk had closed for the night. When he finally dropped onto the sumptuous bed, he couldn't help but reflect on how drastically different his life had been in the short time since he had begun trading cryptocurrencies. Long gone are the days of slaving away at menial jobs and juggling multiple jobs just to scrape together a subsistence-level income. Now that he had achieved his goals, he was able to live the kind of life of which he had always fantasized, one that was rich in both opportunity and luxury. Naturally, he was aware that the world of cryptocurrencies was fraught with instability and unpredictability. There was a possibility of failure, and he had had his share of success and failure in the past. Yet for the time being, he wasn't concerned about anything other than basking in the fruits of his labor and reveling in the opportunities that were ahead. Richard was aware that he was a part of something that was both remarkable and exhilarating as he began to fall off to sleep. The world of cryptocurrencies was still in its infancy, but it was developing rapidly, and he was convinced that he had what it required to thrive in this bold new world of finance and technology. The world of cryptocurrencies was still in its infancy. When he awoke in the morning, he felt revitalized and ready to take on any obstacles that the day had in store for him. For the time being, though, he was pleased to allow himself to get carried away by the excitement of the night before and to appreciate the knowledge that he was living a life that the majority of people could only dream of having. Richard spent the next several days on the French Riviera, participating in a variety of activities linked to cryptocurrencies, interacting with other successful traders and investors, and basking in the sun on the beach. Every night there was a different spectacular celebration, and each one was more extravagant than the one before it. Richard couldn't deny that he was enjoying the time of his life, despite the fact that the sheer grandeur of everything was beginning to cause him to feel a little bit overburdened. Nevertheless, it wasn't simply the lavish parties and the lavish lifestyle that pleased him. It was the feeling of being a part of something innovative and thrilling, something that was altering the world in a way that was fundamentally significant. Richard felt privileged to be a part of the movement that was attempting to reform the financial industry by making it more open and democratic. Bitcoin had the potential to achieve these goals. Richard noticed that as the week came to a conclusion, he was experiencing conflicting emotions of elation and exhaustion. He was aware that he needed to get back to his trading desk as soon as possible because there were opportunities and transactions waiting for him there. Yet he also knew that the fantastic experience he had on the French Riviera would remain ingrained in his memory for the rest of his life. It provided him with a sight into a world of inconceivable wealth and possibilities, and he knew that he would always aspire to achieve that degree of success and luxury in his own life. This had given him a look into a world of unimaginable wealth and possibility. Richard continued to trade Bitcoin over the course of the following several months, and he discovered that he was much more successful than he had been in the past. Because of the relationships he had formed on the French Riviera, doors that had previously been closed to him were now wide open, and he was in a position to capitalize on emerging opportunities and trends in the industry. He purchased a brand new penthouse apartment in a hip neighborhood of the city, outfitted it with the most recent technology and designer furnishings, and hosted parties in the apartment that were on par with the ones he had attended on the French Riviera. But despite the fact that he was living the high life and enjoying his wealth and success, he never forgot the life lessons he had picked up in that glitzy part of the world. He was well aware that the world of cryptocurrencies was in a developmental stage and was still fraught with risks and unknowns. If he wanted to remain at the top of his game, he recognized that he had to continually learn new things and adapt to changing circumstances. As a result, he persisted in his business activities of trading, investing, and developing new ideas. He continued to live a life of luxury and pleasure, but he never lost sight of the reality that his success was founded on a foundation of hard work, perseverance, and a willingness to take risks. Despite this, he continued to be successful. In the end, Richard came to the conclusion that there was more to cryptocurrencies than simply earning money or maintaining a lavish lifestyle. It was about being a member of a movement, a group of pioneers and innovators who were making major changes to the world. And he took great pride in the fact that he was a member of that community and had played some tiny part in the development of both technology and finance. As time passed, Richard rose through the ranks to become one of the most successful and well-respected cryptocurrency traders in the entire globe. He participated in meetings and conferences all around the world, where he shared his observations and forecasts with other market participants and investors. He also became a champion for the benefits of Bitcoin, publicizing its potential to establish a more equal and transparent monetary system. He spoke out about the merits of cryptocurrencies. He was of the opinion that the decentralized character of cryptocurrencies had the potential to remove obstacles and ensure that everyone has an equal opportunity to take part in the economy of the world as a whole. Richard never lost sight of the reality that he had achieved where he was in life by putting in a lot of effort and being determined, even while his fortune continued to increase at an astounding rate. He never forgot his humble beginnings or his gratitude for the chances that were presented to him, and he never took his achievements for granted. Yet despite the fact that he was living a lavish lifestyle, he always made it a point to help others who were less fortunate. He was generous to charitable organizations, lent his support to causes that were meaningful to him, and made effective use of his position to promote positive change in the world. Richard was aware, as he reflected on his life, that he had been gifted with a degree of success and luxury that very few people ever had the opportunity to enjoy. But he also realized that the things that got him to where he was were his love of invention, his enthusiasm for finance and technology, and his willingness to take chances. These were the things that got him there. As a result, he continued to engage in trading, made investments, and developed new ideas, continually pushing the limits of what was possible in the realm of cryptocurrencies. For Richard, there was no greater source of excitement than the prospect of developing something novel, especially if it had the potential to improve people's lives and the world at large. And in the end, that was exactly what Bitcoin was all about: the capacity to create a world that is better, more egalitarian, and more transparent. And Richard felt privileged to have been a part of that change and to have contributed to the formation of the monetary and technological landscapes of the future. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel before you go. Thank you for watching.